to look in the eye of the man that has killed his father, his brother, and be expected to reconcile with him just like that, with no justice, no compensation, nothing, just go on from there. In any way it can be, spun in the media, and only the good. I mean, just before the World Cup, this will paint exactly the picture I want you to see. Just before the World Cup, black South Africans, angry, but that misdirecting their anger at the lack of jobs and opportunities, started killing other black Africans in South Africa and accusing them of taking their jobs. It's just like you people, if the white people in America suddenly start rounding up all the African Americans and all the Latinos and start killing them, now you're taking our jobs, and just start shooting them on the streets. This is what happened in South Africa 3 years ago. So tell me, where is this progress when black South Africa is still this angry? But they're just not directing it to their government. They're directing it to fellow citizens that are from different neighboring countries. Zimbabweans were slaughtered, Nigerians were slaughtered, Botswanans were slaughtered. Anybody that was caught then, until the government came in, big brouhaha to calm it down, So I don't think South Africa is the right example. Botswana is the right example for Africa.
Okay, well, I was playing something from Hans Tasink as you came in, and he was talking about Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. And it seems to be the contrast between Robert Mugabe and his continued reign in Zimbabwe and Mandela's, coming out of jail and briefly taking the reins of political power in South Africa is, that's quite a contrast to me. Is that a meaningless contrast, do you think?
No, it's not a meaningless contrast in any way. Of course, I don't support, first of all, what I do not support is sit-tight government in any way, shape or form. If you are the head of something that belongs to the public, you should be willing to let other people give it a go, especially after you've been there for more than 40 years. Whatever you cannot accomplish personally in 10 years, to me, I think you need to move on and let someone else try. So that alone, But, the whole noise about him being, Mugabe has been evil to Africans since the 1970s. But just because he had allowed, the white farmers to own all the land, white people own all the business, he was cool. The Queen invited him there, and he was hailed as a revolutionary thinker, the leader pulling Africa forward. But then, fast forward a couple of years, and they say, okay, this land belongs to black people, give it back. He's suddenly evil, all sanctions are put on him, and then they blame him that Zimbabwe's economy is collapsed. Of course, you sanction fertilizer, you sanction trade, you sanction economy, you sanction everything. How do you expect the country to move forward? Of course it's going to collapse, so that's what it is, I feel it's about time that African rulers, because they are not leaders, they are rulers. African rulers are judged as soon as they start to harm Africans. I feel, Africans do not get any kind of support in the world except that ruler goes against Western economics. As soon as that happens, then they wrap it up. Oh, he's been bad to his people, it's time to get him out. But they don't get him out while it starts. They let him do it as long as, okay, everybody's getting a share. But as soon as he says, oh, I'm doing something that is anti-world economy, that's when they start to say he's bad, So let's say people are bad when they harm people, not when they harm money.
We're speaking with Seun Kuti. He's in town with his band Egypt Deity tonight at the Center for the Arts. Let's talk a little bit about your music. I know there's politics is inevitably embedded in your music, but you say that music created in the studio is commercial music, and music that only wants to sell, that has nothing to do with the world. How then? Because I've read that the songs that you have recorded on the album I'm looking at here, From Africa with Fury, Rise, you had been performing these songs with Egypt Deity for a long time before you went into the studio and recording them. So how did these songs get written, and how did they emerge? What did they emerge from?
Well, they emerge from inspiration, I have to say. I think music is 10-15% talent, and the rest is hard work. When I say talent, I mean talent is inspiration. You're inspired. I sit in my house, I hear a sound, then you have to put in the work to turn that sound into music. So I work at home, I write my songs. When we start to rehearse them, you know, with the band, and as soon as the band gets a grip of it, we try playing it live, because this is what matters. You know, I don't wait to record it, that people know the songs. You know, the radio has pushed the songs before I play it to the people. I want people to hear it before, you know, and you know, when you see their reaction, you know, something they never heard, and you know, they dance into it as if they've heard it for 10 years, you know, then you know you've done a good job. You know, so that's how I also allow other members of the band write. Like on this album, there are 7 tracks, 5 by me, 2 by the band. That's usually the ratio, you know. But you know, I'm a songwriter, composer, you know, so that's how the songs come into life. Hard work, talent, you know. But I always want to write my music, you know, while I'm inspired by my environment, you know, by seeing things happening around me, you know, not by ideas in the studio like most commercial songs are written, you know. They sit in the studio, they already have, you know, like a blueprint. Okay, what do we sing about? Okay, we had 4 bottles of champagne yesterday, okay, and 2 girls came home with us. Yeah, let's put that to the song, you know. You know, that is not what's happening outside in the world, you know.
As I was listening to your CD, and you know, I was listening to it in my car and at home, I found myself, my mind taking me to a meadow, a big meadow in front of a huge stage, an outdoor stage, and hearing you and your band playing and having that sound wash over me. And it would be great if you could come to Grass Valley in the summertime when there's a music festival, World Music Festival is held in Grass Valley.
Okay.
California World Fest. And
even if you can't see him, I know my agent is here, and I hope he's paying attention.
because it would be a wonderful, wonderful way to hear your music outdoors.
Yeah, you know, we play a lot of big festivals, and it's always amazing as well. You know, I think Afrobeat is good both ways, because even if you want to play in clubs, you know, live music venues, you know, that intimacy also gives the music some sort of extra strength. And when we are out in the open, the power of the sound system and the energy is also there, you know. So it's both ways are good, you know. So whether you catch me at the festival or in a venue,
people had better catch you tonight because you're here.
yeah, you better catch me tonight.
It's all conjecture as to whether you'll be back in an outdoor venue. Well, we got to wrap this up, but I want to leave our listeners with another quote attributed to you. I think this is a wonderful quote. Music has great impact on people's feelings. That's what music should be. Pop music today is all about me, me, me. Nobody's singing about we. But nothing can change if we don't look out for our brothers and sisters. And I think that is just such a wonderful summation of what music should be, what good music should be.
Yeah, because I grew up listening to music from the 60s and 70s, and even R&B, so-called R&B singers then that sang about love, always took out time to sing songs about people, about their environment, about what the majority is going through. You know, I'm going to be 30 next year. You know, I think in Africa, what I already have, my accomplishments, you know, 90% of my people are never going to see that. So why do I want to sing about something that nobody can relate to, really, except a few of us that are privileged? Let's sing about that 90%. And that is true in my country. 70% of people live on less than $2 a day, and another 20% on less than $1 a day. You know, so what do they know about champagne and fast cars? You know, let's talk about what's happening to them. You know, so that at the end of the day, they do not take out their frustrations on people like me that have worked hard. Let's all know who the collective enemy is. Let's see how we can collectively change things. And this is what music is. Music is the most socially binding contract between humanity and race and cultures today.
Well, Seun, thanks so much for joining us, and we're going to go out with a track from your CD, Rise.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks again for joining us. I really, really, really appreciate it.